Okay, welcome to 5 Minutes with the Newsroom. I'm here with Green Valley News and Sahuarita Sun editor Dan Shearer and reporter Mary Glen Hatcher. And Mary Glen was at the rally for reproductive rights over the weekend, and she's going to talk a little bit about it with Dan here.
So first, let me introduce you to Mary Glen. She joined our staff in the spring. We hired her out of North Carolina, and she's been out of school for a couple of years, but this is her first real journalism job. And one of the benefits of coming into a smaller paper is that you can pretty much cover anything because no one is real territorial and a lot of stuff needs to get done. And so we sent her off to, I don't know, was it your first rally?
Yeah, it was actually, I covered the International Women's Day in March. That was
okay.
actually my first assignment for you guys.
That's right. Okay.
Back in March. But yeah, this rally had a much larger turnout and was definitely more rally vibes, if you will.
And we've had a lot of rallies on that corner. I think we're going to end up calling it like Speaker's Corner or something. But I've seen as few as 15 people there, and I've seen as many as 400. And so it's a very active community, and it's a good community. So you went out there, you talked to a lot of people. The Roe v. Wade is being threatened like never before, and that has really concerned a lot of people. It's encouraged a lot of people. So you went out there, and tell us what you heard.
Yeah, so a lot of people there were voicing their support for Roe v. Wade and just reproductive rights in general. I spoke to a lot of women who spoke a lot about their experiences when Roe v. Wade wasn't in existence. And so a lot of them spoke about challenges that they faced when abortions weren't legal, and people that they personally knew who had suffered from incidents like that. And so that was really eye-opening for me because I'm younger, and a lot of them said, you know, we're out here for your generation, we're out here for younger women, voicing our support. So I thought that was really interesting to get that perspective. Yeah.
So they weren't the only ones out there, but there really weren't a lot of counter demonstrations. There have been, frankly, some concerns that there could be some confrontations, and I don't think any of that happened, but they did have a little bit of opposition out there.
They did, yeah. There were a few counter-protesters who were kind of talking about COVID issues and maybe some masking policies, but they really were just a handful, and they also were pretty peaceful. The organizers of the rally were very clear with people who showed up that we're not trying to get antagonized, we're not trying to get, mean with other people. So if someone is trying to, spark an argument with you, just ignore them. And so I think it was very overwhelmingly peaceful. Yeah.
What about the people driving by? What was the reaction like?
Lots of honking. I had to lean in close when I was talking to people because it was really, really loud, just with people chanting and honking. There's actually one woman who drove by several times. She said she wasn't physically able to get out and stand, but she wanted to just show her support, so she made several rounds through that intersection honking and cheering, and that was really, really cool to see.
A couple of years ago, we did a story about these rallies, and the question was, do these really do any good? When you go out to the street corner and you certainly are bringing a lot of attention to a cause, but beyond that, do they do any good? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think I heard from a lot of people that it makes them feel like they're doing something good, and I also think that you get to see other people's show up for a cause, and I think that in itself can inspire action or discussion. Personally, I liked reading a lot of the signs and just seeing what spoke to people, so I think that can spark lively discussions. Maybe if you have a different opinion, and just asking people why they think that. And I think rallies are good for that because you get to see other people just voicing their opinion and really participating in democracy in a physical sense. And I think maybe that can lead to other stuff like donations to causes or like writing letters to Congress people. So I think maybe the rally itself might not do anything, but I think the actions that it can inspire later can definitely have an effect.
A lot of people felt like you have to have not a plan B, but that the rally is just part of an ongoing process. So, okay, at the end of the rally, now we need a call to action. So for some of them, it's writing letters to the editor, it's speaking in front of groups, it's whatever. And even if you don't win someone to your side, you've at least got them to thinking about what's going on, which is, to me, really the value of these types of things. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so overall, good experience?
Great experience, yeah. It was great to talk to more people in the community and just hear their stories about why they're participating in it and why they showed up. So that was really cool.
Okay, good work. You can see a slideshow of all of Mary Glen's work work on our website, gvnews.com, or continue the discussion on Neighbor. We've had a couple of letters to the editor on this. I know there's more to come. I got a few phone calls and stuff, so people are definitely interested in this topic, especially now as we see it going into the courts, and there's going to be a lot more action on it. So thank you for joining us on 5 Minutes with the Newsroom. We'll see you next time.